It's time to ask, what are our politicians trying to hide? The Department for Work and Pensions has stopped publishing data on welfare claims by nationality. HMRC has stopped publishing tax paid and tax credits received by nationality. The Home Office will not answer questions on the immigration status of prisoners, neither will the Ministry of Justice. They have the data, but they won't publish it. The Home Office doesn't collect nationality data on people who've been arrested. It won't reveal how much is being spent on migrant hotels. They won't tell us the cost of renovating flats for asylum seekers. Apparently, we don't have solid figures on how much taxpayers' money is being spent on refugee loans. This was all revealed by Tory MP Neil O'Brien. Well, no wonder the pension age is going up, eh? As well as your taxes. I mean, why aren't we allowed to know the truth about those things? What are they so afraid of? Is it the truth that the British public might react badly to discovering the sheer number of crimes committed by foreign nationals, or the cost to the taxpayer? We have an idea, though, don't we? You know, there was no growth in our economy in July, and yet we continually get pumped with mass migration. I'm just going to pose this question. If migration makes us richer, why are we getting poorer? Our politicians can't just lie to us and hope we don't kick off. If the truth is so bad that we might protest if we knew about it, then maybe they should do something about the problem, instead of covering it up. Let's get our thoughts from our panel this evening. Director of the Popular Conservatives, Mark Littlewood. We've also got businessman and activist Adam Brooks and journalist Nina Mishkov. Adam, I'll start with you. Why do you think they are making it so difficult to get these figures, or in some cases just actively refusing to give it?
As you said, they know we won't like what we hear. In numerous countries across Europe that now publish the data, there is a correlation between increased immigration and increased crime. We allowed 1.4 million visas to the UK in 2023 alone. I would like to know if they are contributing to this country financially or in other ways, and are they committing crimes? So the only way we are going to know that is if we get statistics. Germany in 2023, 18% of all sexual assaults were asylum seekers, by asylum seekers. There are 761 gang rapes in Germany in 2023. 47.5% of the suspects were foreign-born. Denmark, immigrants and descendants committed 29% of all violent crime, yet they make up just 14% of the population. There is obviously a serious problem culturally coming to Europe, and we need to know about it. And the only way we will do that is if we have the statistics.
Yeah, and again, you know, the statistics might just bear out that we haven't got anything like the same problem here. Maybe, but it would be nice to know, wouldn't it? And, Mark, when you see that now it is becoming increasingly difficult, and I suspect that it's because the British public couldn't handle the truth, maybe, about whether or not, certainly when it comes to the amount that we're paying in benefits, for example.
Yeah, I think this is very worrying, Patrick. There are reasons for the government not to release information. I can think of two. One is genuine national security. We don't tend to press release our military operations before they happen. And the other is the protection of personal privacy. I've had NHS treatment, but that doesn't mean that Adam can see my medical records. So if there's a particular individual, we don't release people's voting records. That's a secret ballot. But we've now got into the position where we are effectively not releasing data or statistics because it's politically sensitive. You mentioned the decision by the Information Commission. They exist essentially to try and encourage information to enter the public domain, to inform public debate in large part. We're not allowed to know the cost of refurbishing 346 flats in Farnborough, Hampshire, because it's too sensitive. If you start suppressing information because it is too sensitive, meaningful public debate cannot occur.
And, Nina, I just wonder whether or not that means that people actually have a right to get angry, not break the law, but have a right to get angry and frustrated about this. If we can't know the answer to this, the implication is that the answers are probably quite bad.
Well, I think there are two crimes in this regard. One is I'm a firm believer in truth and transparency, and I, too, would love to live in a world where we were given the information that's there, because obviously they have the data. They're not idiotic. They're collecting data all the time on every single aspect of us, our lives, who comes, who goes, who doesn't, what nationality they come from, how long they've been here, their criminal records, all of that. There will be computers worrying. It's all of that. But the second negative aspect to this is the fact that it's felt that this must be kept from the public. And the only reason I can surmise, as you alluded to, was the fact that this might cause problems. And I think this is a very regrettable situation, because I would like to know what facts there are. But if we go back just a couple of months to see what happened when one misplaced, complete lie caused riots, and all the trouble that ensued, and it wasn't a government statistic. It wasn't something in the mainstream media. It was something on social media.
All the more reason to reveal the truth.
Well, this was just one case. I agree. I would like to see this, but it is a dreadful situation when facts that might not correlate with what people want would set things off.
I get that. I do get that. But then my take on that will be, we'll sort the problem out then, and then there wouldn't be...
Yeah, I mean, we're almost only a few steps away from the insanity that prevailed in former communist countries in Central and Eastern Europe, where the state decided it would be a good idea to lie on the weather forecast in order to try and keep people happier. Don't actually tell people what the weather forecast is. That might make them a bit miserable. Tell them what the weather forecast like
That is a good point, because in those countries, people could go outside and see for themselves that the weather forecast they were being told on the television was not the reality. And it feels like that now in Britain, doesn't it?
It does. But what you seem to observe, which is obviously typically anecdotal, but if you combine a good number of anecdotes, you get a data set. What people seem to observe doesn't, in their mind, fit with the facts, and then the government says, we're not going to release the facts.
The other thing is you mentioned Neil O'Brien. I mean, 6 months ago he was tweeting that he couldn't get information. So it's not just the new Labour government.
No, it's the state.
It's absolutely not. It's absolutely not.
It's politicians.
And also, you can get certain facts. For instance, the greatest proportion of benefit claimants for credit are 77.5% are white, and 5% are Asian. So that's...
And 82% or 83% of this country is white. So there is a disproportion across statistics in this country.
The highest, also, according to the ONS, and I know this because I happened to look it up earlier on before I came on air, because I thought it was quite intriguing, like what we were saying. So the highest proportion of people aged between 16 and 64 who are unemployed, and this is done by religion now, identify as Muslim. Higher proportion than any other religious demographic in this country.
Look, Patrick, there's going to be some very inconvenient facts come out if they ever release this data. You know, the German stats, 75% of German asylum seekers are men under 35. Yet when someone like me points out that most of the asylum seekers coming across the channel are men, I have people like Nina and people on Twitter tell me that I'm lying, and they're not.
Not saying
but we have eyes.
No, I understand that. I'm not saying that, and we discussed this last week. Of course there are women and children. Sadly, a pregnant woman and 6 children. Now, the thing is, if you are in a war-torn country and your route to safety is through many other countries, that's a very difficult...
I don't leave my family in a war zone.
Excuse me.
I stay here and I protect my family.
Well, that's you.
No.
You're not in a war-torn... You're not in a war...
Don't the two of you think that the debate between you would be more enlightened if we actually had the data to base it on?
Exactly.
Can you imagine a world? Can you imagine a world in which we said, for example, we're not going to release gender statistics on domestic violence? We don't want to be sexist. Some people think more domestic violence is carried out by men, but we're not going to release those statistics. This would be extraordinary. And it is almost... It's becoming increasingly difficult to have these debates because there isn't the data to base it on. That's not Adam's fault.
My point being, never mind what you would do, and you're better than everybody in your own eyes, so let's just keep it like that. Well, because
just a man that would protect his family and would not leave them in a war zone, and any man with any morals would do the same. And all these men that are coming across...
You're repeating yourself. We've got all of that, yada,
Okay.
yada, yada. Now, what I was going to say was that if you have a situation... And it's been, I said this before, after the Second World War, the Italians, the Greeks went to Australia. It wasn't the women and children who went. You have to go through a difficult situation to find a place of safety, and then you bring them across. The same thing, you are not going to subject your children to walking across mountain passes, going from one country to another through Africa.
This is relevant to whether we release data.
Yeah.
No. I was saying
Also,
we're talking about the fact that you were saying that he's all migrants, or all illegal migrants, he's saying, are male.
No, I'm saying the vast majority.
I think as well,
I'm saying the reason they're all male.
There's layers to it. So it's what financial cost is it to us? You know, we keep seeing, we need mass migration, and then, there's no growth and stagnant growth, and it's going down GDP, but we're told that mass migration is a great thing for our economy and it makes us all wealthier, despite the fact that we can see that we're getting poorer. So that's a bit Orwellian, I think, isn't it? And then it's this idea now that we're not allowed to know what the crime rates are, what are arrests by nationality, what's the benefits and welfare state like by nationality. In a society, I think, where we go out and vote all the time and it's a supposed democracy, why can't we know that?
The number of migrants to this country who have contributed so much far
but we don't know that, do we?
outweigh. No, we're talking about migrants, the Jewish migrants in the 30s.
I don't disbelieve you, Nina, but it'd be really nice.
That is your
wouldn't it,
opinion, and my opinion is different.
No, I'm talking about Jewish migrants in the 30s.
Hang on, Nina, if this was true...
What about the Eastern European migrants?
I'm just doing the basic maths here. If that is true, then how do you rebut Patrick's point? Why is GDP per capita falling? GDP per capita, the average income of the average person is going down. If these people are coming in and contributing far more than the average, why are those statistics apparently so inaccurate?
We're not saying that the amount of immigrants coming here are not contributing. They are contributing. You're implying that illegal immigrants don't contribute. You don't know what they can turn out to be, and you're worried.
The state won't tell me.
No. But the thing is,
you're saying I don't know. Neither do you.
No, but the thing is, you're implying that they're all kind of mad rapists.
I wouldn't see it on an Excel spreadsheet.
No, but you're also
mad rapists. That's what we're
I'm
saying.
just giving you some alarming statistics from other countries that many of them are.
The point being, many of them can, in a few years' time, turn out to be a cancer doctor.
Okay.
A cancer doctor who could save your daughter from breast cancer.
Absolutely.
You don't know that.
OK, all right. But we all agree, a nice point of agreement, it would be nice to have the numbers.
Exactly.
That's what we all was a shared
I agree.
point. Good stuff.